Hello, good morning. Myself Dr.JYOTHI KAMAL, Academic Head, Indian Professional Courses, Logic School of Management. Today we are starting with the EC Learning Program for Class 12 Accountancy. The lessons are selected in such a way that it will fit the needs of students of all streams, let it be CBSE, ICSE, or the state board. So this is an attempt to help you to get your learning better, an easy approach, an easy way to learn and write your board exams in the subject of accountancy for class 12. Okay, we'll start first with the lesson partnership, accounts of partnership firms. First, we will do the basics of the lesson. You should know what is partnership, the essential things you should know as a student to proceed with the problem side of the lesson, partnership accounts basic. Okay, okay, students. We have developed a PowerPoint to enable you to have an idea about the lesson. So before starting with, the first question that naturally comes into your mind should be, what is partnership? It's actually it's a form of business organization wherein two or more persons agree to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. Suppose you, your friend, and another friend, three of you join together and you decided to start a business, say maybe a vegetable shop or a grocery shop in this season of Corona because you lost job, and three of you joined together, started a business that can be called partnership, wherein your intention is to carry on the business, wherein either all of you actively involved or any one of you acting on behalf of others. What is the intention behind to do business and to make profit? To put it in the vernacular, നിങ്ങളുടെ ഫ്രണ്ട് മറ്റൊരു ഫ്രണ്ട് കൂടി ഒരു ബിസിനസ് സംരംഭം സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തു വിത്ത് ആൻ ഇൻറ്റൻഷൻ ടു ക്യാരി ഓൺ ബിസിനസ്. ഈ ബിസിനസ് സംരംഭത്തിൽ ഒന്നുകിൽ നിങ്ങൾ മാത്രം നിങ്ങളിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾ ആക്റ്റീവ്ലി പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ചെയ്തു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ മൂന്നാളും ആക്റ്റീവ്ലി ഇൻവോൾവ് ചെയ്തു. എന്തിനാണ്? ടു ക്യാരി ഓൺ ദ ബിസിനസ് വിത്ത് ആൻ ഇൻറ്റൻഷൻ ടു മേക്ക് പ്രോഫിറ്റ്. സോ the guiding rule is Indian Partnership Act of 1932. Indian Partnership Act 1932 Section 4 defines partnership. Accordingly, partnership is the relation. According to Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act, partnership is the relation between persons to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. അതായത് രണ്ടോ മൂന്നോ ആൾക്കാർ കൂടി തുടങ്ങുന്ന ഒരു ബിസിനസ് സംരംഭം. വാട്ട് ഇസ് ദ ഇന്റൻഷൻ ബിഹൈൻഡ്? ടു മേക്ക് പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ബൈ ഡൂയിങ് ബിസിനസ്. ആ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ ഒന്നുകിൽ എല്ലാവരും ആക്റ്റീവ്ലി ഇൻവോൾവ് ആയിരിക്കാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒന്നോ രണ്ടോ പേർ മറ്റെല്ലാവർക്കും വേണ്ടി ഇൻവോൾവ് ആയിരിക്കാം. അത്തരം ബിസിനസ് സംരംഭത്തിനെയാണ് എന്തെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? പാർട്ട്ണർഷിപ്പ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Now we should see what all are the features of partnership business. Partnership ബിസിനസ്സിനെ പറ്റി പറയുമ്പോൾ Indian Partnership Act 1932 specifies that it will be partnership business only if you are doing a legal business. So the question naturally arises, what is legal business? Take the case of the gold scam taking place in Kerala. Swapna Suresh Adi scams. They were also doing partnership, but it will not get validity in a court of law because they are not doing legal business. Okay, take the case of Bollywood. When Sushant Singh Rajput's issue ilude, now that is the racket behind drugs is coming out. അതിലും ബിസിനസ് നടന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. It is reported that nearly 1 ton of narcotics have crossed the borders from Pakistan to Bollywood എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അത്തരം ബിസിനസ്സും ലീഗൽ ബിസിനസ് അല്ല, they are illegal business. It does not have sanctity or validity in a court of law. I hope it is clear to you. Now, what is the intention behind? The intention is to make profits and to share the profits in agreed ratio. Suppose the ratio is 2:1 between X, Y and Z. Out of the total profits, 2/5 should go to X, 2/5 to Y and 1/5 should go to Z. Suppose they are equal partners and a profit of 60,000 is made, so 20,000 each will go. So it depends upon the agreed ratio. Now comes the next point, mutual agency. Mutual agency means wherein all of them actively involved or some one of them acting on behalf of all. Okay. Now the terms and conditions of partnership. It is not compulsory that the terms and conditions of partnership should be always written, but it can be oral also. But it is always safe and secure to have the terms and conditions of partnership between partners in a written form. So this written agreement between partners regarding the terms and conditions of partnership is called partnership deed. Okay. Now, unlimited liability. This is another feature of partnership business. Unlimited liability means in the happening of loss, LOS's loss, it is the partners who will have to bear the loss, like the profits they share in times of loss. Partners will have to share the loss, and while sharing, if their business assets are not sufficient to meet business losses, even their personal assets will have to be attached to meet the business loss. Unlimited liability എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ നിന്നുണ്ടാവുന്ന നഷ്ടങ്ങൾ വരുമ്പോൾ ലാഭം ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ നഷ്ടവും പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യണം. അങ്ങനെ ഷെയർ ചെയ്യേണ്ട ഒരു സന്ദർഭത്തിൽ if business assets business losses meet ചെയ്യാൻ മാത്രം ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ സ്വകാര്യ ആസ്തികളും വിറ്റ് ബിസിനസ് കടങ്ങൾ വീട്ടേണ്ടതായി വരും. അതിനെയാണ് അൺലിമിറ്റഡ് ലയബിലിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. In the happening of death of a partner, his shares are not freely transferable, and in order to start a partnership business, you should have a minimum of 2 and not more than 10 partners in the case of banking business, and 20, not more than 20 in the case of other business. So these are the features of partnership. That is, partnership should be carried on for legal business only. They should share profits in an agreed ratio. It should be a mutual agency. There should be an agreement, either oral or written, between the partners. Unlimited liability, that is, if business assets cannot meet business liabilities in the event of loss, even the personal assets of partners are attached or will have to be sold off, and in order to pay off the business liability. That is the meaning of unlimited liability. In the happening of death of a partner, shares are not transferable to their survivors or the legal heirs, and in order to start partnership, there should be at least 2 people and not more than, maximum number is 10 in the case of banking business and 20 in the case of other business. Okay, so as I told you earlier, you should know what is partnership deed. Partnership deed is that is agreement between partners, can be either oral or written. It is always better to have a written agreement. Oral agreements don't have validity, right? Later on, suppose some disputes arises, some conflicts arises, written agreement signed by partners will always be a proof in a court of law. So written agreement between partners regarding the terms and conditions of partnership is called partnership deed. Okay. Now, the next thing, slowly we are moving on to the problem area, the numerical side. Next thing you should know is if partnership deed is silent, in such cases, provisions of Indian Partnership Act is applicable. So what does this Indian Partnership Act says? They says that no interest on capital is payable to partners, no salary to partners, no interest on drawings, profits or losses to be shared equally among partners, interest on loan. Suppose the partner has advanced a loan to the firm, then the firm is liable to pay 6% interest per annum upon loans advanced by partners to the firm. I repeat it once more. These terms of these conditions of Indian Partnership Act 1932 will apply if partnership deed is silent. Accordingly, Indian Partnership Act states that in the case of partnership firms, no interest on capital payable to partners, no salary to partners, no interest on drawings to partners, profits or losses, if no terms and conditions is there, in such cases, it is to be shared equally among partners. If suppose some partner has advanced loan to the firm, in such cases, interest on loan at the rate of 6% per annum on loans advanced by partners is payable by the firm to the partner. Okay. Now, we are before moving on to the numerical area, I just want to brush up once more what all things you learned. We learned what is the definition of partnership, what are the features of partnership, what is meant by partnership deed. In the case of partnership deed, if partnership deed is silent, in such a case, the provisions of Indian Partnership Act 1932 is applicable. Accordingly, Indian Partnership Act 1932 states that no interest on capital is payable to partners, no salary is payable to partners, no commission is payable to partners, no interest on drawing is payable to partners, profits or losses to be shared among partners equally, and if any partner has advanced loan to the firm, in such a case, the firm should pay interest to the partner at the rate of 6% per annum. Okay, so these are the theoretical backgrounds you should know. Now moving further in this lesson, you should know about, first thing you should know about is fixed and fluctuating capital. Okay children, so the different methods of preparing capital accounts. A beginner should start with how to prepare capital accounts in different under different methods in partnership. So when I speak about capital methods of preparing capital accounts, two methods are there: fluctuating capital method and fixed capital method. So the first topic we should learn is preparation, different ways of preparing capital accounts. They are fluctuating capital method and fixed capital method. Okay, methods of preparing capital accounts, fluctuating capital method and fixed capital method. Under fluctuating capital method, you will have only capital accounts, that is columnar capital account of partners. Under fixed capital method, you will have two, that is the capital account is bifurcated into two. First one is capital account and second one is current account. What is that? First one is capital account and second one is current account. See, the difference is under fluctuating, as the name suggests, fluctuating. The capital account balance can change, can fluctuate. So everything relating to capital, you put it in columnar capital account. Everything relating to capital, say interest on capital, interest on drawing, salary, whatever it is, relating to capital or relating to partners, you will have to put it in, everything you will put it in columnar capital account. But in the case of fixed capital account, this capital balance should not change. Capital balance should remain fixed. So only capital part, capital balance you will show in capital account. Baki sub you will put it in current account. In other words, the balance shown in this capital account will be the same if you add this plus this. We will see how it is possible. I repeat once more, when you start learning the numerical part of basics of partnership, the first thing you will have to learn is about methods of preparing capital account. First part is fluctuating capital. There are two methods of preparing capital account: fluctuating capital method or fixed capital method. Under fluctuating capital method, only you will be preparing capital account, columnar capital account, because under fluctuating capital method, you can have different balances or the balance of capital account can change. But under fixed capital method, as the name suggests, the balances of capital account should not change. Hence, the method of preparation is bifurcated into two. Under fixed capital method, you will have capital account, columnar capital account as well as current account. Whereas in fluctuating capital method, under fluctuating capital method, you will have only capital account. The reason is fluctuating capital method, the capital balance can change, but under fixed capital method, as the name suggests, capital account balance cannot change. So the capital account balance alone you will show in capital account, and remaining things related to capital you will put it in current account. Now let us see how it is possible. I will give you selected problems. Please copy down the problem. Fixed and fluctuating capital. Tripathi and Chauhan are partners in a firm sharing profits or losses in the ratio. Their capitals were 60,000 and 40,000. During the year, they earned divisible profit of rupees 30,000. According to the partnership deed, both the partners are entitled to 1,000 per month as salary and 5% interest on capital. They are also to be charged an interest of 5% on their drawings, irrespective of the period, which is 12,000 for Tripathi, rupees 8,000 for Chauhan. Prepare partners' accounts when capitals are fixed and fluctuating. Okay, this is the problem. I hope everyone has copied down. You can have a screenshot of this. Now we will see how to solve this problem. Okay, students, I had shown you the problem of Tripathi and Chauhan. Now we should see how this is possible. So first you should know, what is the format of a capital account, columnar capital. We should resort to columnar capital account rather than preparing capital account separately for each partner, because you are supposed to do it in a 3-hour scheduled program, that is your examination. So time saving procedures you should know. Hence, we will first learn what is fluctuating capital method and the columnar capital account, how to prepare. So, the first topic we should learn is how to prepare fluctuating capital method. Okay, capital accounts under fluctuating capital method. Now, before proceeding, you should have an idea what is the format, what all are the normal items that are seen in a capital account. Okay. So, first I will explain. In this case, Tripathi and Chauhan, there were two partners. So, the format is like this. Left hand side is the debit side, right hand side is the credit side. T-shaped account, first column being date, second column being particulars, next is journal folio. Amount column is bifurcated into two. രണ്ട് amount column regarding Tripathi and Chauhan. ഇങ്ങനെ രണ്ട് amount column ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നതിനെയാണ് columnar capital account എന്ന് പറയാം. Again, credit side, date, particulars, journal folio. Amount column is bifurcated into two, Tripathi and Chauhan. Okay, Tripathi and Chauhan. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ട മറ്റൊരു കാര്യം, എന്തൊക്കെ ഐറ്റംസ് ആണ് നോർമലി ക്യാപിറ്റൽ അക്കൗണ്ടിൽ കാണുന്നത്. Capital is a liability, alle? All liabilities have credit balance. Hence, the opening balance of a capital account should be on the credit side. Okay. Appo firm inde bookil ulla capital accounts aanu nammal varakkunathu. You are doing it as an officer for the firm, not for the partner. ഇപ്പോൾ ഫേമിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഇത്ര രൂപയുടെ ഒബ്ലിഗേഷൻ ലയബിലിറ്റി ഉണ്ട് ടുവേർഡ്സ് ദ പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഓൺ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ബൈ ഐ ഓൺ സി എന്ന് പറയും. അതായത് ഈ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ മുതൽ മുടക്കിയല്ലോ, ആ മുതൽ മുടക്കി സംരംഭകൻ മുതൽ മുടക്കിയ ക്യാപിറ്റലിനെ ഫേം പാർട്ട്ണർക്ക് കൊടുക്കുന്നതാണ് ഐ ഓൺ സി. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഓൺ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ is paid by the firm to the partner. So something receivable by the partner, that is why it is put on the credit side. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ ബാലൻസിന്റെ ഒപ്പം ഷൂട്ടപ്പ് ചെയ്യണം. ഇത് കിട്ടേണ്ടതാണ്, ഇതിന്റെ കൂടെ കിട്ടേണ്ടതാണ് ഐ ഓൺ സി. ആർക്ക് കിട്ടേണ്ടതാണ്? പാർട്ട്ണർക്ക്. എവിടെ നിന്ന് കിട്ടേണ്ടതാണ്? ഫേമിന്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടേണ്ടതാണ്. ലൈക്ക് വൈസ് ചിലപ്പോൾ സാലറി കൊടുക്കാം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടാവും പാർട്ട്ണർക്ക്. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ്, ഈ ബാലൻസിന്റെ ഒപ്പം കിട്ടേണ്ടതാണ് സാലറി, ഫേം കൊടുക്കേണ്ടതാണ്. So it is an expense payable by the firm, so that is also put on the credit side by salary. Credit side of what? Credit side of capital account. This is capital account of partners maintained by the firm in the firm's books. Okay, by salary. Chelpa commission undavam, commission, share of profit undavam. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ പാർട്ട്ണറിന് കിട്ടേണ്ടിയ സാധനങ്ങളെല്ലാം ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡിലും, ചിലപ്പോൾ പാർട്ട്ണർ സ്വന്തം ആവശ്യത്തിന് എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് പോയിണ്ടാവും, ഫോർ പേഴ്സണൽ യൂസ് ക്യാഷ് എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് പോയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ പറയുന്ന പേരാണ് ഡ്രോയിങ്സ്, അല്ലെ? അപ്പോൾ ഈ ബാലൻസിനെ കുറയ്ക്കുന്ന ഐറ്റം ആയതുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ എവിടെ എഴുതി? ഡെബിറ്റ് സൈഡിൽ എഴുതി ടു ഡ്രോയിങ്സ്. പിന്നെ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഓൺ ഡ്രോയിങ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ സ്വന്തം ആവശ്യത്തിന് കാശ് എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് പോയി ബിസിനസ്സിൽ നിന്ന് പാർട്ട്ണർ. ഇഫ് ദ പാർട്ട്ണർ ഹാസ് ടേക്കൺ വിഡ്രോൺ ക്യാഷ് ഓർ ഗുഡ്സ് ഫ്രം ബിസിനസ് ഫോർ പേഴ്സണൽ യൂസ്, ദെൻ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ടെക്നിക്കലി കോൾഡ് ഡ്രോയിങ്. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് പോയ ഡ്രോയിങ്സിനെ പാർട്ട്ണർ വിൽ ബി പേയിങ് ടു ദ ഫേം, വിച്ച് ഈസ് ആൻ ഇൻകം ടു ദ ഫേം, വിച്ച് ഈസ് ആൻ എക്സ്പെൻസ് ടു ദ പാർട്ട്ണർ. ഇത് പാർട്ട്ണറിനെ സംബന്ധിക്കുന്നതായതുകൊണ്ട് ഡ്രോയിങ്സിന്മേൽ കൊടുക്കുന്ന പലിശയെ പറയുന്ന പേരാണ് ഐ ഓൺ ഡി, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഓൺ ഡ്രോയിങ്സ്, വിച്ച് ഈസ് ആൻ ഇൻകം ഫോർ ദ ഫേം whereas it is an expense for the partner. So ഇത്രയും കിട്ടേണ്ടിയ സാധനങ്ങളുണ്ട്. This side you whatever is the partner is eligible to receive, ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ട് whatever is payable or payable by the partner or something that reduces this balance, it is put on the debit side. അപ്പോൾ heavier side total നോക്കുക, ഡിഫറൻസ് നമ്മൾ നോർമൽ ലെഡ്ജർ ബാലൻസ് ചെയ്യണ പോലെ ഇടുക. ഇതിനെയാണ് ടു ബാലൻസ് ക്യാരി ഡൗൺ. ഇങ്ങനെ അപ്പോൾ the process of balancing is not complete until and unless you bring it down to the opposite side. അങ്ങനെ ബ്രോഡ് ഡൗൺ ബാലൻസ് മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന മെത്തേഡിനെയാണ് ഫ്ലക്ച്വേറ്റിംഗ് ക്യാപിറ്റൽ മെത്തേഡ് എന്ന് പറയാം. ബിക്കോസ് ഇവിടെ ഓപ്പണിംഗ് ബാലൻസ് ഇതാണെങ്കിൽ എൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് വേറെ ബാലൻസിലായിരിക്കും. Since the balance of the capital account differ, it is called fluctuating capital method. I hope it is clear to you. So if this is fluctuating capital method, so what is fixed capital method? See, the rule regarding fixed capital method is that capital account balance should not change year after year. the same capital account balance. So you will have two accounts under this method. The first account is called capital account. Normal as normal. This is a T-shaped account. Left hand side is called the debit side. Right hand side is called the credit side. Columnar, date, particulars, journal folio, Tripathi Chauhan, date, particulars, journal folio, Tripathi Chauhan. So date, particulars, journal folio, Tripathi Chauhan. Then date, particulars, journal folio, Tripathi Chauhan. Okay, so you will show only the capital account balance here. The remaining things parallelly another account you will have to draw. That is called, so parallelly you will have to draw another account, the same format, that is called the current account. T-shaped account, left hand side debit side, right hand side credit side, date, particulars, journal folio, two partners, date, particulars, journal folio, two partners. Date, particulars, journal folio, Tripathi Chauhan, date, particulars, journal folio, Tripathi Chauhan. Okay, this is called current account. So first we will learn how to do fluctuating capital method. Okay, so under this method, how will you do? We will see. So what do they say? They were partners. Tripathi and Chauhan were partners, sharing in 3:2. Their capitals were 60,000 and 40,000 as on January 1st, 2013. So this is called opening balance of capital. As on 1st January 2013, their capitals were 60,000 and 40,000. So I put 60,000 in Tripathi's column and Chauhan's column I put 40,000. So since you are doing parallelly, columnar capital account can save time in your examination hall. That is the intention behind. Otherwise, double the time you will consume. Okay, so when you learn, you should resort to time saving strategies also. Now, during the year, they earned a divisible profit of 30,000. So, what is happening? 30,000 entire 30,000 cannot be eaten by Tripathi alone. So, how will they do? So, 30,000 is to be divided in the ratio 3:2, which means 3 by 5 is equal to 18,000, and the other fellow it will be 12,000. So where to accommodate? This is something that is receivable by the partner from the firm. Hence, it is shown as by profit or loss 18,000, 12,000. Okay. Next is according to the partnership deed, both partners are entitled to 1,000 per month as salary. So salary is also something payable by the firm to the partner, something receivable by the partner from the firm. Since this is a capital account which shows what all things are related to partner and is maintained in the books of the firm, a partner should receive salary 1,000 per month. So 1,000 into 12 is 12,000. So 12,000 each they will be receiving. And interest on capital, popularly the commerce people call it IONC. So for IONC at the rate of 5%, 5% upon what? In the case of Tripathi, it is 60,000 into 5 by 100 IONC, and in the case of Chauhan, it is 40,000 into 5 by 100. So this will be 3,000 and this will be 2,000. Okay, so this is IONC. IONC is how much? First person 3,000, second person 2,000, 3,000, 2,000. Okay. Then comes interest on drawings, 5% on interest of drawings. Interest on their drawings irrespective of the period, which is 12,000 for Tripathi and 8,000 for Chauhan. So what you will have to understand is drawings is something that reduces capital balance. Hence, you will have to show it on the debit side. How much? 12,000 for Tripathi and 8,000 for Chauhan. Interest on drawing, something payable by the partner to the firm for the money withdrawn from the business funds for personal use. So something should come from the partner side to the firm, which is an income to the firm and an expense to the partner. Since this relate to partner, it is put on the other side, debit side. Now 5%. So 5% of 12,000. In this context, you will have to understand a generally practiced rule. The generally practiced rule regarding I on D is like this. In this case, 12,000 Tripathi's case, what was his drawings? 12,000 was Tripathi's drawings. Normally it is 5%, 5 by 100. So, if no period is specified regarding the time of drawing, you will have to hypothesize that, you will have to assume that drawings were made during the mid of the year. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കൊല്ലത്തേക്ക് നിങ്ങൾ 600 rupees ആണ് കൊടുക്കേണ്ടിയിരുന്നത് എങ്കിൽ it is to be supposed that, it is to be hypothesized that that was withdrawn during the mid of the year. Okay, അപ്പോൾ in which case 300, second fellow Chauhan എന്താവും 8,000 into 5 by 100, 400. Withdrawals of funds were made during the mid of the year. അപ്പോൾ half year interest അല്ലേ payable ഉള്ളൂ. അങ്ങനെയാണ് അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു പ്രാക്ടീസ്. അപ്പോൾ 200 എന്നാണ് നമ്മൾക്ക് അസ്യൂം ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എന്തെഴുതി? To interest on drawing 300 എഴുതി, 200 എഴുതി. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഫ്ലക്ച്വേറ്റിംഗ് ക്യാപിറ്റൽ മെത്തേഡ് ആണ് മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ലെഡ്ജർ അക്കൗണ്ട്സ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ബാലൻസ് ചെയ്യാന്ന് അറിയാലോ, ലെഡ്ജർ ഒക്കെ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളതല്ലേ. നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ ഹെവിയർ ടോട്ടൽ ഈ സൈഡാണ്. അപ്പോൾ 63, 75, 85 plus 8, 93,000 ഇവിടെ അല്ലേ. ഹെവിയർ ടോട്ടൽ ഓൺ ബോത്ത് സൈഡ്സ് 93,000. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ 93,000 എന്ന് എഴുതിയാൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ മാത്തമാറ്റിക്കലി നിങ്ങൾ ശരിയല്ലല്ലോ. അപ്പോൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? 93, വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ ഡിഫറൻസ്? മൈനസ് 12,300. ഹൗ മച്ച്? 80,700. എന്താണിത്? ഇതാണ് ലെഡ്ജർ അക്കൗണ്ട് ബാലൻസ് ചെയ്യണോ 80,700. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ ഇത് വേർട്ടിക്കലി ടാലി. ഇനി ഇവിടെ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ ഹെവിയർ ടോട്ടൽ ഓൺ ബോത്ത് സൈഡ്സ് ഇവിടെ എത്രയാണ്? 52, 54, 64. ടോട്ടൽ 66. ദിസ് ഇസ് ദ ഹെവിയർ സൈഡ്, 66,000. ഹെവിയർ ടോട്ടൽ ഓൺ ബോത്ത് സൈഡ്സ് 66,000 minus 8,200. So it will come to 57,800. Okay. Now the process of balancing is not complete unless and until you bring it to the opposite side as the opening balance for the next accounting year. So this balance should come here. What is that? 80,700. And this balance 57,800. Okay. Now this is the method under fluctuating capital method of maintaining capital account, wherein you were having opening balances 60,000 and 40,000, closing balances as 80,700 and 57,800. So under this method, the capital account balances fluctuate, hence the name fluctuating capital method. Under this method, only one account called the capital account alone we will be maintaining. Now coming to the next method, fixed capital method. The same data, how will you prepare it under fixed capital method? The first thing you will have to understand is, as the very name suggests, fixed. What is fixed? Capital account balance is fixed. So how is it possible? Only capital you will be showing here. What is the opening balance of capital? by balance brought down, the opening capital were 60,000 for Tripathi, and Chauhan was having 40,000. Okay. Now this balance should not change. So you put it here. The remaining things like IONC, salary, commission, profit share, drawings, IOND, everything you will be putting it in the next account, that is called the current account. So you will be writing by IONC, by salary, commission is there. See, by salary, by commission is not there. Okay. By profit or loss, to drawings, to interest on drawings. So how much it is by ion C in the case? 3000, 2000. By salary, 12,000 each. By share of profit, 18,000, 12,000. To drawings, 12,000, 8,000. To interest on drawings, 300, 200. Interest on drawings is payable by the partner to the firm, something receivable by the firm because partner has taken business funds for personal use. So since he has withdrawn, business was not in a position to utilize those funds. Hence, upon the money withdrawn by the partner for his personal use from the business, which is technically called drawings, the partner will have to pay interest to the firm. That is called interest on drawings. Okay. Now, how will you close this? As usual, close and balance ledger account. Here, heavier total on both sides. So, 60,000, 40,000. So, if you put 60,000, 40,000 here, nothing here. So, it is to be balanced. To balance carried down, how much? 60,000, 40,000. Now the process of balancing is not complete until and unless you bring it down to the opposite side as opening balance for the next year. How much it is? 60,000, 40,000. Now coming to the current account, that is also to be balanced. Heavier total on both sides. So 33,000 here. This is the heavier side, right? 33,000 here. So 33,000 minus 12,300. So to balance carried down 20,700. Now what about here? 26,000 is the total, heavier total. So heavier total on both sides. So here what is the difference? 26,000 minus 8,200. 17,800. Now what happens? You will have to bring it down by balance brought down 20,700, 17,800. So just see what is happening. This plus this, what is the first thing you will have to notice is that opening balance and closing balance remains fixed. Hence the name fixed capital account. Okay. Now this balance plus this balance. So here you see 60,000. Here you see 20,700. Okay, both for Tripathi together 8,700 was the balance here. Okay. Now for Chauhan, For Chauhan, 40,000 was the balance in capital account. Now 17,800 is the balance in current account. Totally 57,800. That is the balance under fluctuating capital method. So this is how the first and foremost thing you will have to learn in the lesson basics is how to prepare fixed capital and capital accounts under fixed capital method and fluctuating capital method. Okay, so this is the first topic to be learned. So students, now we will move on to the next topic after fixed and fluctuating capital methods. The next topic to be learned in the lesson basics is about the preparation of profit or loss appropriation account. So the question naturally arises, what is profit or loss appropriation account? In partnership accounts, after preparation of profit or loss account, the net profit will be traced out. From that net profit, certain requirements as per partnership deed, like payments to partners and receivable from partners like interest on drawings will be accommodated so as to trace out the actual divisible profit that can be transferred, that can be credited, that can be given to partners in the partner's capital account. So, to put it in a nutshell, a profit or loss appropriation account is an extension of profit or loss account wherein you accommodate the requirements as per partnership deed like interest on capital, salary, commission, interest on drawings, etc. so as to trace out the actual divisible profit that can be given to partners, that can be credited to partners' capital account. Now, the starting point of profit or loss appropriation account will be the output of the profit or loss account, that is the net profit, or you start with the net profit derived from the profit or loss account. Okay. So, the question is, I'll give you a question. See, the problem selected for profit or loss appropriation account is you are given a question of partnership between Manish and Girish, wherein they had agreed to share the profits or losses equally. Manish will be allowed a salary of 400 rupees per month. Girish manages the sales department, will be allowed a commission equal to 10% of the net profit, but that commission is after allowing Manish's salary. 7% interest will be allowed on capital, 5% interest on partners' drawings, then will be charged on partners' drawings. The capital accounts of Manish and Girish are 1,80,000 respectively. Their annual drawings were 16,000 and 14,000 respectively. The net profit for the year ending March 31st, 2013 amounted to 40,000 rupees. You are asked to prepare firm's profit or loss appropriation account. So the question is how to solve. So take it in mind, keep it in mind always. This is an appropriation account which is a continuation or an extension of profit or loss account. Hence, the format for profit or loss account is applicable for profit or loss appropriation account. Profit or loss appropriation account, which is an extension of profit or loss account. You will start with the profit, net profit revealed by profit or loss account. Hence, the columns are left hand side debit side, credit side. Now, the columns are particulars, amount, particulars, amount. You start with the net profit revealed by profit or loss account. So you bring it down to the opposite side by net profit as per profit or loss account. In this question, how much it is? In this question, the firm had made a profit of 40,000. Okay. So 40,000. Now, what all things to be given? Manish to be allowed a salary of 400 per month. If had it been the capital account, it will come on the credit side. But for the firm, what is Manish salary? Manish salary for the firm is an expense, right? So all expenses on the debit side to M's salary. I am writing M only for Manish. Manish salary 400 per month. So 400 into 12 months. So it will be 4,800. Girish, who manages the sales department, will be allowed a commission equal to 10% of the net profit, but that commission is after allowing Manish salary. So if 40,000 is the net profit, deduct Manish salary, that is 4,800. Whatever remains afterward, upon that he will be given 10%. Okay. So to whose commission? This fellow's name is Girish. So to Girish's commission, it will be 35,200 into 10 by 100, that is 3,520. So the question arises, how this 35,200? Okay, 35,200, 40,000 is the net profit. Girish is to be given commission upon the profit after deducting Manish's salary. So if 40,000 is the profit, 4,800 is Manish's salary. What remains is 35,200. Upon that 10 percentage, that is why 3,520 is Girish's commission. Okay. Now, next is 7% interest will be allowed on partner's capital. So, interest on capital is payable by the firm to the partner. Okay, so which is an expense to the firm. Now, M's salary is an expense to the firm. G's commission is an expense to the firm. Interest on capital is payable by the firm to the partner. So, how much it is? In the case of Manish, it should be 1 lakh into 7 by 100. So it should be 7,000. That is 1 lakh capital upon that 7%, 7 by 100, 7,000. In the case of Girish, 80,000 into 7 by 100. It is equal to 5,600. So 7 plus 5, 12,600. 12,600. Then 5% interest will be charged on partner's drawing. The annual drawings were 16,000 and 14,000 respectively. If date is not mentioned, withdrawal when drawing dates are not mentioned, you will have to hypothesize that they were withdrawn during the mid of the year. So in which case, interest on drawings is payable by the partner to the firm for the money withdrawn from the firm for his personal use, so which is an income to the firm. So that is why interest on drawings is put on the credit side of profit or loss appropriation account, something receivable by the firm, in other words, which will adds to this 40,000. So by I on D, how much? Manish, Girish, Manish has withdrawn 16,000. So upon 16,000, 5% for half the year, because you will have to hypothesize that this is withdrawn during the mid of the year. So 800 by 2 is 400. Okay. We put it in the inner column, write it together. Girish, how much it will be? 14,000 into 5 by 100 for half of the year, because he withdrew it in the mid of the year, right? You will have to hypothesize. Then it will be 350. So totally you can write 750. That is I on D. Okay. Now, so you incorporated all expenses and the receivable income like I&D. Now you balance it, heavier total on both sides. So 40,750 is the heavier total, 40,750. So from that 40,750 minus this 15, 19, 29, 20 I think. 29, 20. So 19,830 is the resultant figure, the difference. What it is to actual divisible profit transferred to M's capital, G's capital. M's capital, how much? They are equal partners, I think, right? In the question was stated, they share profits and losses equally. So 19,830 into 1 by 2 for the first man and 19,830 into 1 by 2, that comes around 9915 for the first man and for the second man. Okay, 9915. This is how you will have to do profit or loss appropriation account. So profit or loss appropriation account is nothing other than an account which is an extension of profit or loss account, wherein you start with the profit traced out by profit or net profit. You start with the net profit traced out by profit or loss account. You incorporate all the terms and conditions required by partnership deed like interest on capital, salary, commission payable to partner, and interest on drawings if it is there, receivable from partner. All these items you are incorporating just to trace out the actual divisible profit that can be credited to partner's capital account. So this is how you will have to do profit or loss appropriation account. So now the next topic you will have to learn is, see, regarding all these topics and additional questions I had drafted. The question with solutions is put in your toward the fag end of the session as your self practice with solutions. Okay. So the next topic we will have to learn is about profit or loss appropriation with guarantee. See, what do you mean by guarantee? Guarantee is nothing other than a situation wherein suppose you are running a sports goods or a sports cricket usable things like the bat, the wicket, the stump, and the ball, and all the accessories required for your cricket match. Your unit is dealing with that. Okay. Suppose you are bringing along with the existing partners, Virat Kohli or Dhoni or people like that into your partnership, wherein your intention is to utilize their expertise in the field, utilize their mastery in the field. At the time of negotiating with Dhoni or Kohli, you are telling, hey Dhoni, we will give you surely this year 1,50,000 as your share of profit. Whatever is the matter, at any cost, we will give you 1,50,000 as your share of profit. So Dhoni was very happy. Agreed. He came into partnership. So what is the circumstance? A partner or a person or is introduced, brought into partnership, wherein he is offered a fixed amount, at least a fixed amount that particular year as his share of profit. So in this case, you will have to think it from two angles. Suppose that particular year, Dhoni's share of profit happened to be 3 lakh. So how much will be paid? 1,50,000 or 3 lakh. It is at least 1,50,000. So whichever is higher, 3 lakh is higher. So 3 lakh will be paid. Dhoni is happy, other people are happy. We backed off. Okay. But in the case, suppose Dhoni's share happened to be 1,20,000 only, but Dhoni was offered 1,50,000. In which case, the shortage of 30,000 is there. No, he was offered 1,50,000. His actual came to be 1,20,000 only. So the difference of 30,000 is to be borne in by, is to be suffered or is to be shared by the other partners, or suppose one person has agreed to share the deficiency in so this 30,000 is called deficiency. So the as per the terms, who is to bear the deficiency, that those people will have to bear the deficiency and make good the good Dhoni with 1,50,000. I hope it is clear. In such cases, the topic is called profit or loss appropriation with guarantee. Profit or loss appropriation account, preparation of profit or loss appropriation account with guarantee. Okay. So children, this is profit or loss appropriation with guarantee, the topic. Okay. Just see the question. Vikas and Vivek were partners in a firm sharing profits in the ratio of 3:2. They admitted Vandana on 1/4/2014 on 1/4/2014 as a new partner for 1/8 share in profits with a guaranteed profit of 1,50,000. This is what I told you about the Dhoni story. Okay. The new profit sharing ratio between Vivek and Vikas will remain the same, but they decided to bear any deficiency on account of guarantee to Vandana in the ratio. So suppose Vandana is not getting 1,50,000, the shortage should be borne in between Vivek and Vikas in the ratio 2:3. The profit of the firm for the year ended 31st March 2015 was 9 lakh rupees. Prepare profit or loss appropriation account of Vikas, Vivek and Vandana for the year ended 31st March 2015. So how to? The format remains the same. What is that? It is an extension of profit or loss account. So profit or loss appropriation account. Left hand side debit side, right hand side credit side. It is better if guarantee is there, you put two amount columns to keep your answers neat and clean, because normally when we go for centralized valuation, we can see many papers. If the paper is neat and clean, it is clear to the valuer, right? You know the concept, you are concrete with the concept. In other cases, it looked like war phase or the Kurukshetra war has taken place. So the columns can be particulars. You better draw two amount columns so it will be neat. Okay. Now, as I told you, the starting point of profit or loss appropriation account, you start with, you kick off with the profit traced out, net profit traced out by your profit or loss account. So, here in this case, the question states that profit of the firm for the year ended 31st March 2015 was 9 lakh. So, how will you start with by net profit as per profit or loss account? Okay, you put it in the outer column 9 lakh. Then, what all things happen? The new profit sharing ratio between Vivek and to bear the deficiency. They admitted Vandana as a new partner with a guaranteed profit of 1,50,000. So, how will you calculate? Okay, this 9 lakh so Vandana was appointed for 1/8 share in profits. Okay. Vikas is to Vivek was 3:2. Okay. Now, If total is 1, you learn it in mathematics fraction. 1 by 8 is given to Vandana. So remains 7 by 8 remains, right? Upon 7 by 8, what remains? 7 by 8. 3 by 5 goes to Vikas, and upon remaining 7 by 8, 2 by 5 goes to Vivek. Okay, so this should be 7 3s are 21 by 40. Here it will be 14 by 40. So what is the ratio between Vikas is to Vivek is to Vandana? The ratio will be 21 by 40 is to 14 by 40 is to this fellow 1 by 8. Okay. Now the ratio will be, if LCM is 40, 21 is to 14 is to 5. This is the ratio. This is the ratio in which profits to be distributed. What is the ratio? 21 is to 14 is to 5. 21 is to 14 is to 5. So 9 lakh. So 2 actual divisible profit transferred to, first fellow is Vikas capital, leave some space, then you write Vivek's capital, leave some space, then you write Vandana's capital. So 9 lakh is the total profit, upon which 21 by 40 should go to Vikas. Then 9 lakh is the total profit, upon which 14 by 40 should go to Vivek. And finally 9 lakh is the, this lady is offered minimum 1,50,000, maximum no condition. Okay, now we will see 9 lakh into 5 by 40, she is eligible. Okay, so 9 lakh into 21 by 40 comes around 4,72,500. 4,72,500. 4,72,500. 9 lakhs 14 by 40 comes around 3,15,000. Okay, when you do it in the calculator, 3,15,000. Now 9 lakhs 5 by 40 comes around 1,12,500. Okay, now what is the situation? This lady is offered 1,50,000, but her actual share is coming only 1,12,500. So she should be given 37,500 more to make it 1,50,000. Agreed. She is actually eligible for 1,12,500, but she was offered 1,50,000. Now 37,500 more is to be given to this lady. Now what is the condition as per partnership deed? Vivek and Vikas will remain the same. That the new profit sharing ratio between Vivek and Vikas will remain the same. But they decided to bear any deficiency on account of guarantee to Vandana in the ratio of 2:3. So this 37,500 provided to Vandana to be borne in between the other two people in the ratio 2:3. How much? The shortage, how much? 37,500. Upon that, 2 by 5 goes to Vivek. 3 by 5 goes to Vikas. So 2 by 5 will turn to be 15,000 and the other person will have 22,500. Okay. Now what is to be done? What is to be done is this 15,000 is to be reduced from his actual share, that is minus 15,000 in the inner column. You put the difference in the outer column, 500. 4,57,500. Now, in the case of Vivek, 3,15,000 minus 22,500, his share of deficiency comes around 2,92,500 if you deduct. So 9 lakh was the profit. Listen carefully. 9 lakh was the profit. When you apportion it between the partners, they have come into an agreement. Vandana was appointed for 1/8 share in profits, and the profit, even after Vandana's admission, profit share remains the same between Vikas and Vivek. So how will you think? If 1 by 8 is Vandana's share, if total of a fraction is 1, what remains is 7 by 8. The ratio between Vikas and Vivek is not changing even after Vandana's admission. So what remains is 7 by 8. That's their share 3 by 5 will be Vikas, that is 21 by 40. Now what remains is 7 by 8. Upon that 2 by 5 will be Vivek's share 14 by 40. So you put 3 people together. 21 by 40 is to 14 by 40 is to 1 by 8. All the denominators should be same. So you put 40, take 40 as the LCM. 21 is to 14 is to 5. Now this turned to be their profit sharing ratio. Now coming back, 9 lakh, when you think about 5 by 40, it is coming only 1,12,500. But this lady is offered 1,50,000. So she should be given 37,500 more. Who will give this 37,500? Vikas and Vivek had agreed if any deficiency is there because of Vandana's guarantee, they will be sharing it in the ratio of 2:3. So this 37,500 which was Vandana's deficiency, which you are supposed to give to Vandana, is to be borne between Vikas and Vivek. 37,500 is to be deducted, it is to be shared in the ratio 2 by 5 and 3 by 5. So 15,000 and 22,500. Now that is to be deducted from their original share 4,72,500. So his share will turn to be 4,57,500. In the case of Vivek, 3,15,000 was his actual share. The share of deficiency 22,500 is to be deducted. So his actual share turns to be 2,92,500. And finally, Vandana is given 1,50,000. Thus, we end up the story of apportioning the profit with guarantee. So, this is how you will have to do profit or loss appropriation with guarantee. Okay, so thus we have learned 3 fundamental topics. First topic being preparation of capital account under fixed capital method and fluctuating capital method. Second one being preparation of profit or loss appropriation account, and third one being profit or loss appropriation account with guarantee. Okay. The next topic to be learned is about past adjustments. In the lesson basics of partnership, we had come across the theoretical base. Then we had moved on to fixed and fluctuating capital methods. Then we did profit or loss appropriation. Also learned profit or loss appropriation with guarantee. So just to brush up your memories before moving on to the last topic of the first lesson, just brush up your memories regarding the methods of maintaining capital accounts. fixed capital and fluctuating capital. What is the difference? I hope you remember that under fluctuating capital method, only one capital account you will maintain, because as the name suggests, the word fluctuate means there will be fluctuation, changes in the balance, and we saw the opening balance of capital and closing balance of the balance of capital towards the fund end changes. But as the very name suggests, fixed capital, under fixed capital, the capital account balance should not change. Hence, we will be showing capital account balance alone in capital account and the remaining things in current account. So, this is the difference between fixed and fluctuating capital. Then we moved on to profit or loss appropriation account, which is an extension of profit or loss account. The intention is, after tracing out the net profit through profit or loss account, whatever is required by partnership deed, like expenses payable to partners by the firm, like interest on capital, salary, commission, and income receivable from the partner by the firm, like interest on drawings, to be accommodated so as to trace out the actual divisible profit that can be credited to partner's capital account. So that is the intention behind the preparation of profit or loss appropriation account. Then we moved on to profit or loss appropriation preparation with guarantee. So I had quoted you an example of Dhoni and Kohli and all brought into a sports business, because the business, the firm wants to utilize their experience and expertise in the field. So at that time when Dhoni or Kohli is brought in, they will be offered a minimum sure profit, the happening of which, if the actual profit is more than the offered profit, Dhoni or Kohli can happily take that extra share. But if unfortunately the offered share was not reached, the other people who had agreed to compensate the deficiency will have to compensate, and will have to take it from their share of profit and will have to meet the deficiency of the new person who was offered a guarantee. Okay, now the last topic with regard to lesson 1 basics is past adjustments. Now the question naturally arises, what is past adjustment? Now just brush up before that: profit or loss appropriation, guarantee, and last topic is past adjustment. So what is meant by past adjustments? It is nothing other than, after preparing your final accounts, you unfortunately traced out some omissions which took place in the firm, some transactions omitted, or some mistakes you have committed. So rectification of such adjustments, such transactions which had taken place during the year without disturbing final accounts, just by adjusting capital accounts, is what is meant through past adjustments. അതായത് ഫൈനൽ അക്കൗണ്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പാർട്ട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ഡീഡിൽ പറയുന്ന ചില ടേംസ് പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാതിരിക്കുക, ഒന്നുകിൽ ഒമിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവാം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് കമ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവാം, അതിനെ റെക്ടിഫൈ ചെയ്യണം. പക്ഷേ റെക്ടിഫൈ ചെയ്യാം, ഇപ്പൊ ഫൈനൽ അക്കൗണ്ട്സിൽ പോയി തിരുത്തി ആക്ച്വൽ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് കണ്ടാൽ it is possible. പക്ഷെ അങ്ങനെ അല്ലാണ്ട് you trace out the difference in figures and adjust it through the capital accounts of partners by a rectifying journal entry. That is what is meant by past adjustments. Appo how to do past adjustments we should see. For that I will give you we will do it from 3 angles, 3 varieties. The most important 3 varieties are included under the head past adjustment. So I'll be sharing very soon with you the question with regard to past adjustments. Please note down the first problem. The first variety, normally seen: A, B and C are partners in a firm. They had omitted interest on capital at the rate of 10% per annum for 3 years ended 31st March 2013. Their fixed capitals on which interest was to be calculated were 1,80,000, 70,000. Give the necessary adjusting journal entry with working notes. See, in past adjustments, the word they use is, how will you rectify this entry? How will you pass this mistake, rectify this mistake by passing an adjusting journal entry? Okay. So the question is how to solve such things, and it's an area wherein students have little bit of hangama. Okay, so how will you? Under this method, the topic is called past adjustments. Three partners were there, A, B, C, and finally you should provide one more column, total. Now what was the mistake here? The mistake was interest on capital at the rate of 10% per annum was omitted for 3 years. So, what was the interest amount? Upon 1 lakh, 10% for 3 years. So, it will be 30,000. 1 lakh into 10 by 100 is 10,000 into 3 years is equal to 30,000. 80,000 into 10 by 100. 80,000 is the capital. So 8,000 for 3 years. So it is 24,000. And for 70,000, 10 percentage, 7,000 for 3 years, that is 21,000. So totally how much? 54. 30 plus 24 is 54 plus 21. 64, 74. 75,000 was omitted by way of interest on capital. 75,000 rupees was omitted. Now you think practically. That is, if you take the case of profit or loss account of that firm, and expense was omitted for 75,000 unknowingly. So without considering this, net profit was declared. So net profit was unnecessarily high to the extent of 75,000. This might have gone to the partners as share of profit. The thing is that interest on capital was not given, that is right, but it had gone to them in one way or the other by way of profit. So what is happening? Now the profit is unnecessarily high to the extent of 75,000, which might have gone to the partners in their profit sharing ratio. So instead of 30,000 on account of interest on capital, something else had gone to their hands, to the partners' hands by way of profit. So the thing you will have to keep it in mind is, who has taken excess than required, who is running short of than required. So by setting off, the word is setting off. In Malayalam you call tattikizhikka. Whatever is eligible and whatever you got, the difference you find it out. അപ്പോൾ ഇതാണ് കൊടുക്കേണ്ടിയിരുന്നത്, ഇത് കൊടുത്തില്ല. അപ്പൊ എന്തുണ്ടായി? അറിയാതെ തന്നെ പ്രോഫിറ്റ്, ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു എക്സ്പെൻസിനെ നമ്മൾ ഇൻകോർപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്തില്ല. അപ്പൊ എന്തുണ്ടായി? അറിയാതെ തന്നെ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് എത്ര കണ്ടു കൂടിക്കിടക്കുകയാണ്? 75,000. ഈ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് എങ്ങോട്ട് പോയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും? A is to B is to C എന്ത് റേഷ്യോ? Our partners in a firm, no ratio is specified, so you will have to think that they are equal partners, 1:1:1. Appo less whatever they got, profit wrongly distributed in equal ratio. ഇത് profit ആയിട്ട് പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്, അത് എത്ര പോയി? അപ്പോൾ 75,000 പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കയറി കൂടിയുണ്ട്. എന്ത് റേഷ്യോയിൽ? ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ഇൻ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ഷെയറിംഗ് റേഷ്യോ, ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് 1:1:1. അപ്പോൾ 25,000 വെച്ച് മൂന്നാൾക്കും പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പൊ എന്താണ് സ്ഥിതി എന്ന് നോക്കുക. 30,000 minus 25,000 is 5,000. 24,000 minus 25,000 is minus 1,000. 21,000 minus 25,000 is minus 4,000. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ് ഇതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം? ഇതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം he was eligible, he should get 30,000 but he got only 25,000, so he should get more 5,000 അല്ലേ? ഇനി this fellow should get only 24,000 but unfortunately 25,000 went to his hand, so he is currently excess, so his capital should be brought down to the extent of 1,000. 24,000 വേണ്ടടുത്ത് അയാൾക്ക് ഓൾറെഡി 25,000 കിട്ടിക്കഴിഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ 1,000 രൂപ അയാളുടെ കയ്യിൽ അധികമുണ്ട്, അത് നമ്മൾ തിരിച്ചു പിടിക്കണം. ദിസ് ഫെലോ 21,000 കിട്ടേണ്ട സ്ഥലത്ത് 25,000 കിട്ടി. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ്, 4,000 രൂപ അയാളുടെ കയ്യിൽ അധികമുണ്ട്, ദാറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി ബ്രോട്ട് ഡൗൺ. അപ്പൊ ഈ രണ്ടാൾക്കാരുടെ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ബ്രോട്ട് ഡൗൺ ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഈ ആൾക്ക് കൊടുക്കണം അല്ലെ? ക്യാപിറ്റൽ മീൻസ് ലയബിലിറ്റി, ഓൾ ലയബിലിറ്റീസ് വിൽ ഹാവ് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ബാലൻസ്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ ജേർണൽ എൻട്രി എഴുതും? റെക്ടിഫൈങ് ജേർണൽ എൻട്രി. ക്യാഷ്, അപ്പൊ ഇതിന് പകരം നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാം? എടാ സി 4,000 കൊണ്ടുപോവാ, എടാ ബി 1,000 കൊണ്ടുപോവാ, എ നീ പിടിച്ചോ 5,000 എന്ന് പറയാം. ബട്ട് without disturbing the accounts, how will you pass adjusting journal entry? Through mere adjustment of capital account. That is the point dealt here. I hope it is clear to you. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ journal entry pass ചെയ്യണം? Capital is having credit balance, all liabilities have credit balance, capital is having credit balance. So this person should get more means he should be credited. This person's balance should be reduced means he should be debited. This person's balance to be reduced means he should be debited. Hence, the journal entry turns to be B's capital account debited. How much? 1,000. C's capital account debited 4,000 to A's capital account. How much? 5,000. What narration you will write? Being rectification entry passed for ACCOUNTANCY omitted. So ultimately the journal entry turns to be B's capital account debited 1,000, C's capital account debited. അവരുടെ കയ്യിൽ ജാസ്തി ഉള്ളതിനെ കുറയ്ക്കണം അല്ലേ? അപ്പൊ അതിനാണ് അവരെ ഡെബിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതെങ്ങനെ നമ്മൾ തീരുമാനിക്കും? ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ഇസ് എ ലയബിലിറ്റി, ഓൾ ലയബിലിറ്റീസ് ഹാവ് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ബാലൻസ്. നിങ്ങൾ ആ ആൾക്കാരെ ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരുന്നു എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അവരുടെ കയ്യിലുള്ളത് കുറയില്ല. അവരുടെ കയ്യിലുള്ളത് കുറയണം എങ്കിൽ അവരെ ഡെബിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. ഏതൊരാളുടെ ആണോ കൂടേണ്ടത്, ഇനിയും കിട്ടേണ്ടതുള്ളത്, ആ ആളെ ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പൊ പോസിറ്റീവ് മാൻ ഇസ് ക്രെഡിറ്റഡ് ആൻഡ് നെഗറ്റീവ് പീപ്പിൾ ആർ ഡെബിറ്റഡ്. To A's capital account, how much? 5,000, being rectification entry passed. Okay, so this is how you will have to do. The first pattern is this, wherein a single item is omitted. Sometimes what happens is certain expenses may be omitted and certain incomes may also be omitted, like interest on capital as required by partnership deed was omitted, salary was omitted, at the same time interest on drawings were also omitted. So how will you deal with? That is the next variety you will have to see. So I will share you the next question. Please note down the question, children. The net profits of X, Y and Z for the year ended 31st March 2014 was 60,000 rupees and was distributed among the partners in the ratio of 3:1:1. It was subsequently discovered that the undermentioned transactions were not recorded in the books. They forgot to take interest on capital. They forgot to take interest on drawings, partner salary. The capital accounts of partners were fixed as 1,80,000 and 60,000. Pass adjusting journal entry. Okay children, so in this particular question, how will we solve? How will we pass rectifying journal entry? So in this context, you will have to understand three things they omitted: interest on capital, interest on drawings, salary, right? So what is the difference between these three things, three items? When interest on capital and salary are something payable by the firm to the partners, interest on drawings is something payable by the partner to the firm. So when the former two are expense items, something payable by the firm to the partner, and the latter one, interest on drawings, is payable by the partner to the firm, we can apply here the concept of set off. So set off in Malayalam you call it തട്ടിക്കിഴിക്കൽ എന്ന് പറയും. അതായത് ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എത്രയോ എമൗണ്ട് തരാനുണ്ട്. സെയിം ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് 5000 രൂപ തരാനുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾ എനിക്ക് 1000 രൂപ തരാനുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ 5000 രൂപയുടെ ഇന്ത്യൻ കറൻസി INR 5000 എണ്ണി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തന്നിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ INR 1000 എനിക്ക് എണ്ണി തരേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ലല്ലോ. ഇൻസ്റ്റെഡ് I can give you INR 4000 അല്ലെ, ഇന്ത്യൻ റുപ്പി 4000 തന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ the problem is solved. ഇതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ മലയാളത്തിൽ എന്ത് പറയാ, തട്ടിക്കിഴിക്കുക എന്ന് പറയും. ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ എന്ത് പറയും, you call it the process of setting off എന്ന് പറയും. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇത് എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും എന്ന് നോക്കുക. The three partners are X, Y, Z, and I told you the last column is total. Okay, what all were omitted? I on C at the rate of 5% per annum was omitted. I on C at the rate of 5%. So it will come around 5000, 4000 for the next person because 80,000 is his capital, and for Z 60,000 is the capital, so 3,000, totally 12,000, right? Salary is something payable by the firm to the partner, salary of 1000 per annum, so add 1000 to X, add 1500 to Y. Now what happened? Nothing is there for Z, so totally 2500. So what is the position now? 6000 is payable by the firm to X, 5500 is payable by the firm to Y, and 3000 is payable by the firm to Z. A total amount of 14,500 is payable by the firm to all partners together. Now from that we are doing setting off. What is setting off? This is something payable by firm to partner. What is this? From partner to firm. അല്ലേ, ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ കറൻസിയുടെ കണക്ക് പോലെ. So I on D how much? Minus 700, minus 500, minus 300, minus 1500. Totally 1500 ആണല്ലോ. So what is happening? 5300, 5000, 2700, and it is 13,000 together. അല്ലേ? അപ്പൊ എന്തുണ്ടായിണ്ടാവും? ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ എക്സാമ്പിൾ പ്രകാരം നിങ്ങൾ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ഓർ ലോസ് അക്കൗണ്ടിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് ആലോചിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഈ 13,000 രൂപ ഈ അക്കൗണ്ടുകളിൽ ഈ ഹെഡ്സിൽ കൊടുത്തില്ല, പക്ഷേ വേറൊരു തരത്തിൽ അവരുടെ കൈ പറ്റിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതെങ്ങനെയാണ്? ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു, നിങ്ങളിപ്പോ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ഓർ ലോസ് അക്കൗണ്ട് എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ രണ്ട് ഐറ്റംസ് വിട്ടു. ആര്? സാലറി വിട്ടു, ION-C വിട്ടു, സാലറി വിട്ടു. പക്ഷെ ഇവിടെ ION-Dയും വിട്ടു അല്ലെ. പക്ഷെ ഇവിടെ ഫൈനലി എന്തോ നെറ്റ് പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. കിട്ടാണ്ടൊന്നും ഇരുന്നിട്ടില്ല, വേറൊരു വകുപ്പിൽ കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ അതിനെ അനലൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് കിട്ടിയത് കൂടിയോ കുറഞ്ഞോ എന്ന് നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ you can set it off or you can pass a rectification entry by a mere adjustment through capital account without disturbing the ledger accounts and the financial statements and all. That is the intention behind. അപ്പോ 13,000 രൂപയുടെ വ്യത്യാസമാണ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഈ 13,000 രൂപ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കയറിപ്പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. എന്ത് റേഷ്യോയിൽ? പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ഷെയറിംഗ് റേഷ്യോ. പ്രോഫിറ്റ്സ് ലെസ് profits wrongly distributed in profit sharing ratio of, what is the ratio? 3:1:1. Okay, 3:1:1. So 13,000 was divided in the ratio 3:1:1. So 13,000's 3 by 5 will be 7,800. 1 by 5 will be 2,600 and again 2,600. So totally 13,000. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ എന്താ, ഇവിടെ ഒരു നെഗറ്റീവ് ഫിഗർ ആണ് വരുന്നത്. നെഗറ്റീവ് ഫിഗർ എത്ര വന്നു? 2,500 വന്നു. ഇവിടെ നെഗറ്റീവ് ഫിഗർ ആണ് വരുന്നത്, ഇവിടെ പോസിറ്റീവ് ഫിഗർ ആണ് വരുന്നത് 2,400 അല്ലേ. ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ട് പോസിറ്റീവ് ഫിഗർ ആണ് 100. എന്നുവെച്ചാൽ എന്താണ് അർത്ഥം? വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ ഇന്റർപ്രിട്ടേഷൻ? ഇന്റർപ്രിട്ടേഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇയാൾക്ക് 5,300 കിട്ടേണ്ടിയ സമയത്ത് കിട്ടാൻ എലിജിബിലിറ്റി ഉള്ളപ്പോ he got 7,800. അപ്പോൾ ഇയാളുടെ കയ്യിൽ 2,500 അധികം ജാസ്തി ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പോ ഇയാളെ പിക്ക് പോക്കറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അയാളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് അത് അടിച്ചു മാറ്റണം. that capital to be brought down. ഈ മനുഷ്യന് 2,400 കൂടി കൊടുക്കണം, ഇയാൾക്ക് 100 രൂപ കൂടി കൊടുക്കണം. So കൊടുക്കണം, capital account means liability account, it's having credit balance. So this person should be credited, this person should be credited and this man should be debited. Hence the journal entry turns to be, rectification journal entry turns to be X capital account debited 2,500 to Y's capital account 2,400 to Y's capital account 2,400 and to Z's capital account 100, being, what is the narration for that? Being rectification entry passed for omissions. Okay, this is another variety. So the first variety we did in past adjustments is wherein a single expense item is omitted. The second variety we did is from a couple of expense items you omitted something payable to the firm also. When you omitted some expenses, at the same time you omitted one or two income items. So how to set off, how to pass rectification journal entry. Now the last variety you will have to learn in past adjustments is how to pass rectifying journal entry when closing capital account balances are given to you. I repeat, when closing capital account balances are given to you. So that is another variety which is very popular among paper setters. So I had chosen problems in such a way that the most popular varieties among paper setters are chosen, so that you will have a concrete idea about the concept and it may benefit you from the examination point of view. Because we were to the question paper setting and centralized evaluation, so we know the direction through which it should travel. That is how problems are selected like this, mainly focusing on CBSE, ICSE and state stream. Okay students, the last variety most popular among paper setters is question like this, wherein the closing balances of capital are given to you. Just go through the question, I'll explain, I'll help you to work it out. The question being, and most of these questions are selected from previous question papers, board question papers, either the state board or the CBSE or the ICSE. Okay, most of the questions are board questions which I had selected. The intention I told you to help you from the examination point of view. So the last question relating to this chapter, On 31st March 2014, the balances in the capital accounts of Aileen, Monu and Ahmed after making adjustments for profits and drawings were rupees 1,60,000, 1,20,000 and 80,000 respectively. Subsequently, it was discovered that the interest on capital and drawings were omitted. The profit for the year ended 31st March 2014 was 40,000 rupees. During the year, Eileen and Monu each withdrew a total sum of 24,000 and Ahmed withdrew a total sum of rupees 48,000. Okay. The interest on drawings was to be charged at the rate of 5% per annum and interest on capital was to be allowed at 10% per annum. The profit sharing ratio among the partners was 2:1:1. Showing your working notes clearly, pass the necessary rectifying journal entry. See, just go through the question. There is a silent killer. We call it the silent killer. You all on a sudden will see the question and take the capital account balance and will compute interest on capital. But see, interest on capital is calculated on the opening balance of capital and not on the closing balance of capital. So how will you identify that this is a closing balance of capital? Just see, on 31st March 2014, the balances in the capital accounts of Eileen, Monu and Ahmed after making adjustments for profits and drawings were 1,60,000, 1,20,000 and 80,000 respectively. Subsequently, it was discovered that interest on capital and drawings had been omitted. Interest on capital and interest on drawings they mean. Okay. So, what I wanted to tell you is, in this question, you cannot simply apply 10%, what is the interest on capital, 10% on straight away 1,60,000, 1,20,000 and 80 because they are closing balances of capital. So, the first and foremost attempt you will have to do in such cases is how to reach at opening capital from closing capital just to help you to calculate interest on capital, because interest on capital is calculated on the opening balance of capital. So now let us see how it is possible. So the first thing you will have to visualize is what is the difference between this opening capital and closing capital. Just visualize, don't mug up things. That is, they have given you the balances here. Okay, how these balances were reached? These balances were reached after considering profits and drawing. So profits you might have applied here, drawings you might have applied here. You should reach here to compute ACCOUNTANCY. Why should you reach here? You should reach here to compute ACCOUNTANCY because ACCOUNTANCY is not calculated on closing balance. What is ACCOUNTANCY? Interest on capital is not calculated on closing capital, but it should be calculated on opening capital. So how to reach at this point from this point? Here what I prefer is just think that your vehicle is in the reverse gear. If had it been here, this will reduce, this will shoot up this balance. Okay, if you are here, how to put the vehicle in the reverse gear and reach here? In such cases, what you will have to do is closing balance, add back drawings, the reverse phenomenon you will have to do, deduct profit or loss so that you will reach here. I repeat, you are putting the vehicle in the reverse gear while from the finishing point you should reach the starting point. How was the finishing point arrived at? Finishing point was arrived at after considering two people. Who are the two people? Profit and drawing. Profit is something which helps you to shoot up, get this balance shoot up, and drawings is something which helps this balance to go down. So from here to here you should reach. What should you do? You should put it in the reverse gear, starting from closing balance, add back drawing and deduct profit or loss. You will reach at opening balance of capital. Why you need opening balance of capital? We need opening balance of capital because ion C was omitted and ion C is to be calculated on the opening balance of capital. Okay. So we will see three partners were there. Eileen, Monu, Ahmed, total. Okay, first step is calculation of opening capital. How to calculate opening capital? So I told you put your vehicle in the reverse gear. Closing balances. Who told you this is closing balance? This is closing balance because this is the balance on 31st March 2014. Okay. So the balances were 1,60,000, 1,20,000 and 80,000. So totally 3,60,000. Okay, this balance was arrived at by considering drawings and profit. So I told you to put it in the reverse gear. So you will be adding drawings. How much? Drawings were Eileen and Monu 24,000 each. And for the last person Ahmed, it was 48,000. So totally it is 96,000. So you added back 1,84,000, 1,44,000, 1,28,000, totally 4,56,000. Now you deduct profit or loss because you are putting your vehicle in the reverse gear to reach at opening balance of capital. Okay, so profit or loss, how much? The profits of how much? 40,000 was wrongly distributed. So profit how much? 40,000 wrongly distributed in the ratio of 2:1:1. So 40,000 means 20,000, 10,000, 10,000, 40,000, 1,64,000, 1,34,000, 1,18,000. Okay, so what is the resultant figure you are reaching at? The resultant figure you are reaching at is therefore opening balance of capital. Why you need opening balance of capital? You need opening balance of capital to reach at, to trace out interest on capital. Okay, so you reach opening balance of capital. I repeat once more. From closing balance of capital, you are given in the question, your intention is to reach at opening balance of capital because interest on capital was one of the item omitted. In order to calculate interest on capital, we need opening balance of capital. So, how to reach at opening balance of capital from closing balance of capital? So, you are at the fag end from the finishing point to the starting point. How will you reach? You will have to put your vehicle in the reverse gear. So, from closing balance, you add back drawings and deduct profit. You will reach at opening balance of capital. Okay. Now, as usual, upon this, you will have to compute ion C, which was omitted. Okay. So, how will you pass that rectification entry? That is the next question. Two things were omitted. Who were they? Eileen, Monu, Ahmed, total. Ion C at the rate of how much? 10% per annum omitted. Now, ion C upon which figure? 1,64,000, that is 16,400, 13,400, 11,800. So, totally it comes around 16,400 plus 13,400 plus 11,800, 41,600. Okay. Now, which was the other item omitted? It was interest on drawings. Okay. So, I told you when one is payable by the firm to the partner, interest on drawing is something payable by the partner to the firm. So, interest on drawing at the rate of 5% per annum omitted. So, first two people had 24,000 each. So, 24,000 into 5 by 100. It is 1,200. Since the period, if a period of withdrawal of funds is not specified, you will have to hypothesize that it was done during the mid of the year. Hence, you will be providing ion D for half year only. Hence, it will be 600, right? The next person, it will be 600 because he also withdrew 24,000, and the last person it was 48,000 he withdrew. Upon that 5% period of withdrawal is not specified. So 2,400 by 2 is 1,200. Okay. So totally 2,400. So how much? 15,800 here, 12,800 here. It will be 10,600 here, 39,200 here. Now, what has happened to profit? Just see that actually profit earlier was, before incorporating all these things, net profit was 40,000. Okay, you forgot ion C. Ion C totally was 41,600. Ion D you forgot how much? 2,400. So what is the actual eligible profit for these people? Actual eligible profit for these people is 42,400 minus 41,600, 800 rupees. Actual divisible profit 800. So what is to be done? Add, that is they are eligible. Add actual profit eligible. How much? 800. In which ratio? What is the profit sharing ratio? 2 is to 1 is to 1. Okay. So 800 into 2 by 4 is 400. He is eligible for 400. He is eligible for 200. He is eligible for 200. So 800. This is the final figure, 16,200, 13,000, 10,800, and totally it is 40,000. Now what happened? Something was wrongly distributed. This they are eligible to receive. This is the final setup from which you had already given something. What was given? That 40,000 wrongly distributed in which ratio? 2 is to 1 is to 1. So 40,000 into 2 by 4 means 20,000. 40,000 into 1 by 4 means 1 by 4. 40,000 into 1 by 4 is 10,000, and 10,000, 40,000. Now what is the final setup? This man is running short of 3,800. This man has excess of 3,000. This man has excess of 800. So how you will draft the journal entry. Now I will explain once more. Interest on capital was omitted. You computed on the opening capital. How did you reach at opening capital? From closing balance to reach at opening capital, you will have to put your vehicle in the reverse gear. You add back drawings and deduct profit. You reach that opening balance of capital. So upon this you computed your IONC. Now IONC at the rate of 10% per annum omitted. You incorporated. I told you when IONC is payable by the firm to the partner, ION D is something payable by the partner to the firm. So the process of setting off you deducted. Now actually how much they were eligible. This was the profit earlier distributed. This was distributed without incorporating ION D and without incorporating ION C. This is an income for the firm. This is an expense for the firm. So actual divisible profit was 800 only. So that is all they are eligible to receive 400, 200, 200. Now, instead of all these things, what happened? You unknowingly omitting all these things distributed 40,000. നിങ്ങൾ ഈ വേണ്ട വിധം കൊടുത്തില്ല എന്നത് ശരിയാണ്, പക്ഷെ എന്തോ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ആ കിട്ടിയത് വെച്ച് തട്ടിക്കിഴിച്ച് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ താരതമ്യം ചെയ്ത് നോക്കി the difference you adjust it through capital accounts instead of disturbing the final accounts already prepared. That is what is meant by such past adjustments or rectification entries. Okay. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾക്ക് എന്ത് മനസ്സിലായി? ഇയാളുടെ കയ്യിൽ 3,800 രൂപ, അതായത് 16,200 രൂപ കിട്ടേണ്ടിയിരുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇയാൾക്ക് ഓൾറെഡി 20,000 രൂപ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഇയാളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് നമ്മൾ 3,800 രൂപ അടിച്ചു മാറ്റണം. We should get it back. അതേസമയം ഇയാൾക്ക് 3,000 കൂടി കിട്ടാൻ എലിജിബിലിറ്റി ഉണ്ട്, ഇയാൾക്ക് 800 കൂടി കിട്ടാൻ എലിജിബിലിറ്റി ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ജേർണൽ എൻട്രി ഡ്രാഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ മനസ്സിൽ വെക്കേണ്ടത് എന്താണ്? ഓൾ ലയബിലിറ്റീസ് ഹാവ് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ബാലൻസ്. അപ്പോൾ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ലയബിലിറ്റീസ് ഹാവിംഗ് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ബാലൻസ്. അപ്പോൾ പോസിറ്റീവ് ഫിഗർ ഉള്ള ആൾക്കാരെ ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, എന്നാലല്ലേ അത് ഷൂട്ട് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ. നെഗറ്റീവ് ഫിഗർ ഉള്ള ആളെ ഡെബിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, എന്നാലല്ലേ അത് കം ഡൗൺ ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ. നള്ളിഫൈ ദ എക്സസ് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് വിത്ത് ദം. അപ്പൊ ആദ്യത്തെ മനുഷ്യൻ ആരാണ്? എലി. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് എഴുതും? എലിനെ ഡെബിറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. എന്താ? കാരണം അയാളുടെ കയ്യിൽ ജാസ്തി ഉണ്ട്, അത് നമ്മൾ തിരിച്ചു മേടിക്കണം. സോ എലീൻസ് capital account debited how much? 3,800 to Monu's capital account 3,000 to Ahmed's capital account 800. What is the narration? Being rectification entry passed for omissions on ion C and ion D. Okay, this is how you pass adjusting journal entry. And in all questions you can see pass rectification entry or adjusting journal entry showing your working notes clearly. Okay, so this is how you will have to do. So to put it in a nutshell, what all things you should learn, we will go through the PowerPoint once again and see. So before ending the first lesson on basics of partnership, we should see what all things we learned. We should brush up our memories. We started with the basics of partnership, definition of partnership, features of partnership, what is partnership deed, how to deal with if partnership deed is silent. If partnership deed is silent, you will have to apply the provisions of Indian Partnership Act. Accordingly, no interest on capital, no salary payable to partners, no interest on drawings receivable from partners, profits or losses to be shared equally, interest on loan at the rate of 6% per annum on loans advanced by partners to the firm. Now, coming to the numerical areas, which all are learning areas. we are giving thrust to more topics based mainly from the examination point of view, fixed and fluctuating capital. I hope it is clear to you. Profit or loss appropriation account, profit or loss appropriation account with guarantee, past adjustments, and toward the fag end, under each head I had designed and will be giving you practice problems with solutions under each head. Okay, thank you. We will move on to the next lesson, reconstitution of partnership firm, starting with admission of a partner. Thank you.
Logic, School of Management. It is simple logic.